Hello, and welcome to week number 15 of our weekly meditations, our weekly practices to start each week. Um, and we are using the mindfulness-based stress reduction method, which is a Buddhist practice, a Buddhist practice for moment to moment coping and reducing stress. So this week's theme I am calling stepping out of thinking to choose awareness. Stepping out of thinking to choose awareness. And as we typically start our weekly practices, we start with a quote. And this is a quote from Dan Millman. Dan Millman is a great quote pertaining to this particular week's theme. And here's the quote. You don't have to believe your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. You don't have to believe your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. Thoughts, they are continuous. They are, and they can be quite relentless, particularly when they have such a firm grip on us. Um, thoughts are, they fall within a domain of cognition, cognizing, yes. And cognizing is something that we do all the time. When we judging, um, valuing, commenting, when we are making a decision, deciding on something, we are cognizing. These are faculties of mind. We're cognizing. Now, there's nothing wrong with cognizing, there's nothing wrong with thinking, with thoughts. But when thoughts become relentless, it's often because we pay too much attention to our thoughts and to our thinking as the only source of intelligence. There are other sources too. This body is a source of intelligence if we know how to use it, the body. Our physicality is a source of intelligence. Um, your spirituality, which is somewhat different from cognizing, but your spirituality within which your cognitive capacities are situated is also another source of intelligence. And this is another conversation. So the point is not to believe in your thoughts, the stories that they tell, constantly pulling us in and out of the past and the future. um, not to be captivated by the tidings of our thinking. The fact that we're thinking something doesn't mean that it's true. And often we have to catch ourselves out, believing that it's true. So this is where we step into awareness. And so when I say that our theme today is to step out of thinking and into awareness, what I'm simply saying is that in this week, pay attention to the thinking that's going on, because thinking is always going on, just like breathing is going on. Pay attention to the thinking that's going on. And when you notice a thought, see if you can step out of that thought. And the way to step out of that thought is to pay attention, for example, to a part of your body, your hand. Yeah. Pay attention to the soles of your feet with intention. Pay attention to perhaps the breath that you're breathing then. And notice that just by doing that activity, you create a distance between you and that thought. And there's also a gentle release that you feel, but you feel this when you do this practice. And then it's almost as if you can see the thought from a different space. That space that you can see the thought from is awareness, is the space of awareness. More importantly, as you do this, as you begin to see a thought from a space of awareness, you realize that you have a lot of power over thought. You realize that thought actually has less power over your thinking and over how it tends to control you than you realize. And in that space where you can see thought, in that space arises a sense of curiosity, but also arises a sense of creativity, whereby you can then choose how you want to use a particular thought or not. You don't have to believe your thoughts. You just have to stop letting them control you. And so let's move then into our 10-minute meditation. This meditation is a meditation to enable us to step out of thinking into awareness. And so you would have noticed that I've closed my eyes. I tend to do this when I'm about to drop into a practice, as Jon Kabat-Zinn will say. You can do the same, or you can leave your eyes open, or you can gently allow them to drop into a gaze. Whatever works best for you, whatever makes you feel comfortable. And now bringing attention as you close your eyes to your body. Notice how your body is located, feet on the floor. If you're sitting on a chair, you can feel the small of your back against the chair. You can feel the different points of pressure of your body touching different parts. And this will be the same whether you're standing or lying down, or even walking, noticing each movement of your foot on the ground with each step. Bring attention to the feeling of your own body, the sense of your skin touching your clothing. And as you breathe in, breathing into this body, noticing any sensations that arise with each breath in. As you breathe in through your nose, cool air comes into your body. Perhaps with each breath you notice a sensation, cool sensation around the top of your back, perhaps, or the back of your head. Sensations around your legs, warm sensations or cooler sensations. Perhaps you don't feel any sensations. And if you don't feel any sensations, that's okay too. Just notice what you notice. In fact, notice that you may not even notice any sensations. Notice that with each breath. And welcoming yourself then to this short practice, this practice of stepping out of the mind and stepping into awareness. Just knowing that when you do step out of the mind, you are in fact stepping into awareness. Into a space of peace, internal peace, an open space of knowledge, unfolding knowledge, a different type of knowledge, not knowledge that is generated through thinking, but a knowledge that is here, available to us, just by being ourselves, being here. And so continuing to breathe into the body, breathing in, breathing out. And just noticing any part of your body that comes to your attention even more strongly than other parts as you breathe in. As I'm breathing in, my feet and my shoulders, I'm feeling them a bit more closely with each inhale and exhale. What part of the body comes to your attention a bit closer, even more gently so, with each in-breath and out-breath. Let this part of your body, or these parts of your body, become your anchor for this practice and beyond this practice. And now, take a step now into observing any thought that is just passing across the screen of your mind. Any thought. Perhaps it's a thought that you have been thinking about already. Perhaps it's a feeling that is a thought. Perhaps you're feeling feelings that eventually become the stronger thoughts. Perhaps there's a feeling that you've been feeling before coming to this practice. Bring that to your attention. Allow it to rest in front of you, almost putting it right in front of you such that you can see it in your mind's eye as it sits in the screen of your mind. Now you don't need to think about it, just notice it. I give you a little time now just to notice it. No thinking about it, just allow it there. Sit